Because when we think of the big brands, like your Chanel's and Gucci's, etc., all the books around those brands tend to be written by professors of luxury or luxury experts. Many are not written by luxury brand founders.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Elizabeth, which is the CEO and founder of the Diversity in Luxury Awards. So, Elizabeth, tell us, what are the 5 steps that you recommend to entrepreneurs out there to achieve the first million?
Okay, that's a fantastic question. And thank you so much for having me on your show. The first step I would say is to have an idea. And the second step will be to validate that idea. I'm of the opinion that you should try and get your clients first before you even create a product.
Absolutely.
Or before you create a service. So validate your idea by doing some market research, or if it's something completely different that would revolutionize the entire market, I would suggest that you go with your gut, because in nowadays, a lot of people would say, oh, I don't see that working. I don't need that. And especially in the luxury sector, which I'm in, but trust me, you need to go with your gut. So step 1, get an idea. Step 2, validate that idea. Step 3, find your clients. So you need to find your clients. You also need to, when you find your clients, you need to think, okay, how many of these clients are going to buy from me? So if you think 10,000 clients are going to buy, I would say reduce them by at least 3/4, because many projections often fail. You think, oh, 10,000, I can guarantee only 2,000, if that, might buy from you. Then step 4, I would say build your community. In luxury, it could be creating rarity. It could be creating exclusivity. So what you need to do is create a wait list. We've heard of Hermes, where they have a 2-year waiting list for certain handbags that cost about 20 grand, 30 grand, even 100 grand. So create a waiting list. A waiting list gives people the illusion that what you are creating is a must-have, and people will join it. Just like people join the queue in the UK, whether you know what you're queuing for or not, you just join a queue. So, and this is and having that exclusivity or that list has certainly helped me when I was building my business. And then step number 5, you create the product. I always say it doesn't have to be perfect, especially in luxury. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be good. The problem is many people create mediocre products or mediocre services, and then they try to package it as if it's a good product. A good product, people also have this impression that, oh, a good product speaks for itself. It doesn't. I would say
Absolutely.
It doesn't. So if you
absolutely 100% agree with you.
Absolutely. So if there's one skill I feel you need to have, it's selling. It's the skill of selling. I know someone, in order to sell, he took a job as a minicab driver, as a cab driver, for 2 reasons. One, he wanted to be able to interact with, because he doesn't like people.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, this is going to force me to interact with people. And number 2, he did it because he needed to not only
he needed to develop the skills.
He also wanted to know how to sell his skills. So he took a job as a minicab driver. I've often said to people, try and get a job either in McDonald's or somewhere where the barrier to entry is very, very low, and all you have to do, and every time you try and sell, they teach you how to upsell. So try and do that as well. So try and get a job where you have to sell, especially you're selling a product that you're not that passionate about. That is absolute key. So those are my 5 steps to
I love
make
them.
your first million.
Okay, Elizabeth, that's amazing. So now tell us the story. Why do you decide to become an entrepreneur and to build your own business? Wow, tell us the story.
That is a brilliant question, by the way. So I'm going to take you back slightly. I did my degree in microbiology. I did my master's in medical microbiology and parasitology. You can see where I'm going with this. So I was meant to be a professor. I was on my path to getting a PhD. I trained at St. Mary's Hospital in Paddington, the home of the penicillin discovery. Worked at Great Ormond Street Hospital, one of the best children's hospitals in the world, and I would have been happy. But I remember one day thinking there's got to be more to life than being a lab rat. So let me now try and see if I can. I knew I wanted to do something in business, but I wasn't sure what. So I did what I usually do. I went away, got a degree, got an MBA, and I then, via networking, I was able to make that shift. I became a headhunter. And while I was headhunting, 18-hour days, 12-hour days, I loved it. I enjoyed it, but it was very stressful. So I started baking. Now, I'd always baked when I was baking. I started
Wow.
So I'd always baked when I was a child. Long story, but I always baked, but it was something I took up again. So 2008, we know what happened. The markets tanked and I lost my job. So I thought to myself, I've reached a milestone birthday. If I don't do it now, I'll never do it. So I started my cake company. Now, I had a problem. How do I get clients?
A few problems when you start in a cake company in UK. Yeah, few of them.
I need clients. So because I didn't have a shop front or anything.
You have a good product though, yeah? I can guarantee that you have the best product. I guarantee that maybe your cakes, they were amazing, but exactly like you say, even if you have a good product, it doesn't speak with itself. A lot of entrepreneurs think, oh, I have this amazing product, and because my product is so good, client will come to me. No, this is no reality. This is you living in La La Land. It doesn't work that you can have the best product in the world. You don't go out and sell it. You have nothing.
Exactly. So I remember I just thought to myself, okay, so I took the yellow pages. In those days, the internet, no social media or, limited.
Very little, yeah.
No directory. So I took the yellow pages, big fat book, and I started calling every planner, every event person, every company, anything to do with events, I started calling. After making over 100 calls, a lot of people were rude. Some people were okay. Some people were. After 100 and something calls, I called a particular office. There was a young lady at the other end of the phone, and she said, "Do you make cupcakes?" I said, "Yes, we do make cupcakes. I will drop some samples for you in the next 3 days." So I dropped the samples. And before I got home, I then got a call on my mobile saying, we need you to come back to meet Lady Elizabeth. And in my head, I'm thinking, who's Lady Elizabeth? So I went back, and it happened that this Lady Elizabeth is Lady Elizabeth Anson, the late Queen Elizabeth's first cousin.
Wow.
The only one who called the late Queen by her name.
Wow.
And she said, "Loved your cupcakes, love the taste of it. They're perfect. I want to place an order." So she placed an order for 250 cupcakes, and she gave me a check from a private bank.
Wow.
And I thought, this is not happening. This cannot be real.
Wow, from royal family.
Right, exactly. So
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So when that happened, I thought, okay, so I deliver the cakes and everything, and that story would have been great. But then she did something incredibly generous. She said, she then wrote me an amazing letter saying that my cakes tasted the best on the night, etc., etc. And then she said, you can use this letter as
absolutely
as testimonial on all your marketing material. from now on. She
Wow,
was
very kind of her.
very, exactly, very kind. So I did that. I mean, it's still on my website right now, although
Absolutely.
God rest her soul, she died a few years ago. But that got me started on the luxury side. So this was how I started making cakes for other royal families, ultra high net worth people. It just gave me this boost in confidence. And then another exciting thing happened. I did a wedding show, and a TV camera crew came. They came to video the florist, somebody completely different. But when they got into their van, they came back to video my stand. And the guy also said, "Oh, can I ask you a few questions about trends?" I answered the questions. And then he said, "Okay." So the next thing I know, I'm on TV. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Elizabeth, you're on TV." And then a few months later, he contacts me and he said he has an idea for a cake show. Would I like to take part in the cake show? And I said no, because I said, because I'm not as I then gave him a list of other cake makers who were, I felt, in my view, incredible.
Oh my God, Elizabeth, you lose the.
I know.
Oh my God, I want to cry.
But he said, "You know what, Elizabeth? I want a mixed ability group. I don't want it to just be
perfect."
So again, I said, fine. So I did the TV show.
Wow.
And on the show, you're given 3 different challenges with 3 different couples. And I won 3 out of 3 times.
Really?
I was the most shocked in the room. Because it was a major upset. We had all these amazing cake makers, and I was a nobody. So that was another claim to fame. And what then happened after that was that by word of mouth, by referral, by me doing a number of things, including collaborations, including years ago, blogging was big, collaborations were big. I did a number of things, and then I used social media as well. That really blew up my business, and it brought me incredible clients. I had to sign lots of NDAs, lots of confidentiality agreements.
Wow.
And that was how I got into the luxury world. And that became, so I started noticing certain things. And that was what, then I started having the idea to write my book, The Luxpreneur, about 5-6 years ago. Yeah. Because I'd already written another book. My first book was a cake book. So it showcased the best of my cakes and the recipes and how I created them. And that was great for the 10-year anniversary. But then about 5 years ago, I was invited a lot to stages to talk about entrepreneurship and to talk, more importantly, about the luxury world and luxury clients. And because there isn't a lot of information out there about luxury clients and building a luxury brand. And that was how I realized that there was a massive gap in the market. So I decided to write The Luxpreneur, how to start and build a luxury brand as a result of that. Because when we think of the big brands, like your Chanel's and Gucci's, etc., all the books around those brands tend to be written by professors of luxury or luxury experts. Many are not written by luxury brand founders. Mm-hmm. And there's a massive difference, because those books are great. They're very well written. The language is highfalutin, very well referenced, like very academic, but not very practical. So I wanted something that, even if you have no money, you can literally go and do some of the things I have in the book. So that's why I wrote my book, The Luxpreneur.
Follow us for more interviews with the world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.